Hi. So now we are aware about fundamental of corrosion. We also know how to do the corrosion measurement and corrosion product analysis. Today we will talk about corrosion in various medium, particularly corrosion in soils, concrete, sulfur bearing solution and acids. So let's begin with corrosion in soil. So basically corrosion in various medium is what? When we are having a medium which is surrounded our metal, in that case that medium or that environment plays a very important role on corrosion. So here we will focus if these four kind of environment or medium is there, then what kind of corrosion will take place and how this medium is going to affect the corrosion or corrosion rate in different kind of metal and metal alloys. So if it's a medium in terms of corrosion is an element or solution or compound that serve as an environment for corrosion testing. And most typically, we are talking about maybe the acidic medium or the basic medium. And both are basically depend upon the ionic concentration of the or ionic content of aqueous medium. So let's see about the corrosion in soil. So first we have to understand what is soil. So soil is basically having the mixture of different minerals, organic matters, water or gas. So all these mixed together, it's aggregate from the soil, and the property and characterization of soil or the nature of soil vary with the function of depth. Means if you are at the surface, then the soil will be one type. As you will go down to the earth, then the property of soil or the characteristics of soil will be different. So therefore, usually we take a vertical cross section to understand the soil profile, and different layer soil are known as the soil horizons. So what kind of soil horizons are there? We may say following, such as surface soil, which is usually we see in the top, which is dark in color and mostly have a lot of organic matters. Then organic horizon, elevation, accumulation and parent material. So these are the profile if you do the vertical digging and you just divide into the horizons. So because this understanding is important, because when you are going to place inside the soil any metal, so at what depth your specimen or your metal is there, depending upon that depth we have to understand what kind of soil is there, and based on that soil we have to think of the corrosion mechanism and corrosion measurement. So if we say what kind of examples will be associated with the corrosion, so of course you know lot of pipes are there, tubings are there to basically flow the oils, gas, waters. So these pipelines are there, or maybe the under storage tank, electrical connections, communication cables, many things, whatever we are basically putting down to the earth, that is they are going to contact with the soil. So all can be considered as the example of corrosion in soil. And since soil is not having a fixed aggregates or the characteristics are different, therefore if we are thinking about corrosion in soil, it's a little bit tricky and it's a complex phenomenon with a multiple variable involved here. So we cannot say only one or two variables are there and based on that we can think of, because different variables are there, and based on the uh, soil horizon as well as even the location. Let's say within the, if you're talking about any pipeline which is extended, let's say from Bombay to Delhi and it's going via Rajasthan, So you can understand in between the soil profile is very different. In maybe the some region of the Maharashtra it's one type, then the Madhya Pradesh is different. Then if it is going for Rajasthan, it could be different. In Delhi, the soil profile of the even the content maybe just a couple of meter down to the earth. Yeah, even the profile is different. So that's why if you are predicting the similar way, it should not be there. We have to think about the composition of soil in at least in each different segment. So corrosion in soil is a complex phenomena with a multiple of variable involved, and these could be some of these are the water content, how much water is there in the soil, degree of aeration, how much air is there, pH value, resistivity, then ionic concentration, basically the number of or how many kind of salts are there. Then of course microbiological activities. These are the few which are playing very important role in corrosion when you are having any metal in a soil. So what is we mean by the water? So basically, see, water is playing a role of electrolyte. If there is no water, then we will be not able to basically get the localized electrochemical cell. And you know this corrosion is the electrochemical reaction. So the formation of small electrochemical cell, and if this water is there, then it is working like an electrolyte. So depending upon the water content, you can say what kind of electrolyte we are supplying for this corrosion reaction. So therefore water holding capacity of soil is strongly depend upon its texture, and based on that texture we can think how can it is going to behave with a particular metal. So what kind of corrosion could be possible. Second point is degree of aeration. So basically aeration is referred like, see how much air is in the soil, how it will decide. So how much gaps are there, where air gaps in the soil, and then if that gaps are there, then of course oxygen is going to contain there. So oxygen concentration will be there, but as you go in the deeper in the crust, then of course the concentration of oxygen will be lesser. So with increased depth of the soil, and oxygen concentration has an important effect on the concentration rate, because oxygen concentration decrease with the increase of the depth of the soil. And the second point, even the presence of certain microbes. So though maybe there is no oxygen or very less oxygen, but if there is any kind of microbes are there which are producing a kind of sulfate or reducing bacteria, then again there is a possibility to observe the corrosion even in an anaerobic conditions. Similarly, the third point is basically the pH value. So soil usually has pH value in the range of 5 to 8. But if there is change in the different kind of minerals or ions or the composition of soil, it vary. And soil acidity is produced by mineral leaching, decomposition of acidic plant, industrial waste, acid rain, and certain form of microbiological activities. So this is also one factor which affect the corrosion rate. And pH is generally not considered to be the dominant variable affecting corrosion rate, because this is not very much, like not too much acidic or basic. So though it affect, but its effect is slightly moderate. And more acidic soil represent a serious corrosion risk in common construction materials such as steel, cast iron, and zinc coating. So it's also affect in this kind of materials. Third point, fourth point is soil resistivity. So you see, soil resistivity is again if you are creating a kind of cell. So resistivity is a method where you are basically providing the how much current can flow through the soil, and that will decide basically the your corrosion current. So that is another an important parameter. High soil resistivity slow down corrosion reaction because slow ionic current flow. So if you are having high resistivity, then it's better, but if soil resistivity is lower, then this is going to have a high corrosion rate. So soil resistivity generally decrease with increasing water content and the concentration of ionic species. So if high water is there, then resistivity will be lesser. Similarly, if more number of ionic species or the concentration is higher, then your resistivity of that particular soil will be uh, lesser. So this is going to give the high corrosion rate. Next parameter is ionic species, which are also particularly chloride and sulfates are more typical. If chlorides are there, then they are harmful. They precipitate directly in the anodic dissolution reaction of the metal. Sulfates are less corrosive than the chloride. However, they also give the considerable corrosion reactions and their corrosion action toward metallic materials. And the last point is the microbiological influence corrosion. So if there is any kind of bacteria, fungi or other microorganisms are there, can basically they affect the corrosion rate, and rapid corrosion failure even has been observed in case of such bacteria. So if it is becoming apparent that most metallic alloys are susceptible to some form of MIC. So this is another very important parameter if we are considering the corrosion in soil. We have to think if there is any kind of microbiological influences are there. And if we think about if some particular element, let's say Al, Fe, Cu and zinc. So if they basically go under the earth, they are buried in the soil. In that case, they commonly produce this kind of product. Let's say if aluminium is there, then when it is kept in the soil, it produces only AlO3, Al2O3, Al2O3, 3s2 kind of species. But sometime, depending upon the nature of the soil, it may produce this kind of AlOH or AlX, OLY, SOX4. So depending if let's say sulfur content is there, then the reaction could be different, and this kind of species can also be produced. Similarly, if iron is there, then this kind of Fe2O3 or here this kind of species are possible. Similarly, copper and zinc case. So nature of the corrosion product form these different metals. Let's see the examples corrosion in soil. So if we are having iron based alloys or iron, and then if we are putting this into the soil, what kind of corrosion will be there? So ferrous alloy in soil, unprotected steel is very dangerous. It has very high localized corrosion damage. Most probably the pitting is done whenever it is going to be put in the soil. So whenever if you are putting the soil, this is not so good. So such attack is due to the different aeration cell contact with different type of soil, MIC or galvanic cell when coal or cinder particles come into contact with buried steel. So there is not only one reaction, there could be different kind of activities are there due to the presence of high oxygen or due to the change in the pH value or due to the change in the ionic concentration and due to the change in the local ionic concentration, and it formed the galvanic cell. So or maybe the bacterial or the fungi infection. So these could all different possibilities are there when steel or maybe the ferrous alloy based systems are deep in the soil. Cast iron alloy has been widely used in soil. It is more resistant to the soil corrosion than steel, but the corrosion damage, or you can say the mechanism, is almost similar. The rate is slightly lower as compared to the steel. So therefore, stainless steel are rarely used in soil application as their corrosion performance in soil is very poor, and localized corrosion attack is a particularly serious concern. In case of non-ferrous metals and alloys, so let's say copper and its alloy. So copper and its alloy has slightly better resistance in soil. Chloride and sulfide also increase the risk of corrosion damage if you are having the copper. Copper and its alloy are not immune to MIC. So if any kind of biological substances are there across your soil, So then this copper is also going to have a slightly higher corrosion rate. Cathodic depolarization selectively leaching under deposit corrosion and different aeration cell have been reported as case of copper alloy. So in copper alloy, these kind of processes are already there. Similarly, if we are having brass, the brass has the risk of dezincification, means the zinc is going to leach out if we are going to put the brass into the soil, and particularly if the zinc concentration is high in brass. And corrosion resistance of lead or lead based alloys are in between the steel and copper, so it is better than steel but it is slightly lesser than the copper. And aluminum based alloys are usually relatively rarely used in this application because they also have almost similar corrosion as compared to the stainless steel. So now the question, if we are thinking application of any metal in soil, let's say we are putting a pipeline for some particular applications, so how we can do the corrosion monitoring. So here I will just give a very brief idea. We have already discussed what kind of technique can be used for corrosion monitoring, but it is what here I am going to discuss, that is slightly what kind of practical approach is there, or in really in basically a field test what we do this kind of analysis. So instrument probes are generally used in soil. So for corrosion monitoring in soil, we can use instrumented probes referred to as soil corrosion probes, SCP, and they are typically used where cathodic protection potential cannot be reliably measured. Means if we are not able to measure the cathodic protection very well, then this kind of setup can be used. And corrosion rate measurement are used as an alternative to the conventional cathodic protection criteria when we are having a metal dip into the. So in general, we use either electrical resistance based probe or linear polarization resistance based probe. And if you are thinking about electrical resistance based probe, so it's simply if we know electrical resistance of a material is, if we have fixed the dimension is fixed, once we put this into the soil and if any corrosion is happened, there will be change in the dimension of the material. And if then we measure the corrosion resistance, and if this value is difference, then we can say this is due to the corrosion in the metal or the material. So by understanding this concept, we can design. So based on the increase in the resistance as a function of metal loss, ER probe are evaluated over time to calculate corrosion rates in millimeter or miles per year. Means if we just measure the corrosion resistance or just the resistance of that probe with time dependent manner, then we can get the profile of corrosion rate. So the probe element of known cross sectional is exposed to the soil, means a fixed dimension we are just putting in the soil, and the electrical resistance of the probe is measured after initial installation and then at subsequent time intervals. And then electrical resistance soil, basically corrosion probe are available in various size, shape and sensitivity. So we can use different shape and size and the sensitivity based on our requirement. And basically what kind of pipeline or what kind of material is there which is having some corrosion behavior, similar kind of material or metal should be used to prepare the probe. So ER probe fall into the two types: individual probe or probe installed as a part of test station. So either it is independent or it is having with the station setup. And structure could be, let's say, the flat surface probe typically used in pipeline. We can see here, this is the probe. If you see here the figure A, and this circle is the that particular material, and then it is connected with the cables. This is the overall flat surface type electrical resistance based probe. You can say the multiple core connected cables, because you have to connect multiple maybe probe in different places, and then you can connect together. So installed directly in the soil or concrete with the connecting cable brought up to a test monitoring station. And low profile sensor for soil under the wrap, or it may be like this way, cylindrical type ER probe for concrete, where you can just fix with the concrete structure. So these are typically the structure of the probe. So this is another type of probe. We call it ring type probe, and which it is installed at the bottom of the combined probe or test station mounted tube. Here it is basically combined with the Cooper ring. So the Cooper ring is the made the material, the same material, whatever we are having the material with the test sample, or the, if you are having, let's say, pipeline, so the material which is made, which is basically used to produce that pipes, and similar material we can use here to make a coupon, and that's why we are calling it a native, and we can consider the native potential reference. And both the probe element and the coupon are connected together through a wire, and then it is connected to the probe station to basically measure the or record the reference potential, and based on the reference potential we can calculate the resistance, electrical resistance, and based on that the corrosion resistance can be calculated. So that is here about the corrosion in soil, and today I will stop here. In the next discussion we'll talk on another medium. Thank you very much.